And we are live here at the Speaker Circle. Woo! I am so excited. So excited for today. And I know you guys will be joining us. You may catch the replay, but whatever you catch, I hope you catch these ideas that they're about to share. They're about to spread their word. All right. I am so excited for our very first TED Talk Challenge, round one. These amazing speakers are going to join us. And guess what? They only have 5 minutes. Say it with me, 5 minutes to spread their idea. And we invite you to stay on throughout the talk to provide feedback, share your love. You know, we doing this thing virtually, so you got to show some hearts, give some thumbs up. That's how we know that you're here and you're present. And if you have any questions about any of the talks that are shared today, we're going to invite you to ask those questions in the comments, and I'll be able to ask those at the end. And so basically, just so you know what's going on today, we're having a TED Talk Challenge. We have 2 rounds. This is round 1, and we have 3 marvelous speakers that will be coming to you this week, and then next week we'll have 3 more speakers coming to you as well. What they don't know is at the end of this all, we're going to vote on our favorite TED Talk, right? And the first winner will get a special trophy, we don't have it yet because it has to have their name on it, for the first TEDx Challenge round of Speaker Circle Challenge, something of that nature. We'll come up with something really catchy. But we're so excited. Again, this is all in fun and also just to spread their idea and what they are doing. I don't want to belabor the time anymore. Let's go on ahead. Let's bring on our speakers so you can briefly get to meet them. Yes, let's welcome them. Yes.
Hey. Hello.
Yes. I'm so excited. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you all just to briefly share your name and what your talk will be about this evening. We will start with the order that we're going in tonight, which is Ashleigh, Ed, then Emerald. So if you guys will go ahead and let the people know who you are.
Hello. My name is Ashleigh Hargrave. I am a life and branding coach. And tonight I'm going to be talking about how to share your stars, your guide to personal branding.
Ooh, wonderful. Thank you.
Great. And hi, my name is Ed Cook. I am an author and a lot of other things, but tonight I am going to share my ideas called Finish What You Started. Greatness costs what it costs.
Ooh, you guys see, y'all ready for this? All right.
I love both the titles so far. I'm gonna smile out. No, my name is Emerald and I am a new author, and a founder of Diverse Dining, which is a events and education based company where we facilitate different trainings and conversations over food. So my talk tonight is going to be, I'm like, what is my talk tonight? Oh, finding freedom by exposing rejection.
Woo! Oh, y'all, I am so excited. 5 minutes don't seem like it's going to be enough, but that's what they're working with today, guys. So I'm so excited. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring them back on one by one, right? And get to know them a little bit better. So again, just so you know what we're doing, again, just in case you're just now joining us, we are going to hear from 3 fabulous speakers today where they are going to spread their message in 5 minutes. Yes, only 5 minutes. And so our first dynamic speaker is Ashleigh Hargrave. She is an activator. She is a brand coach. She is a speaker that specializes in empowering who? Women, entrepreneurs, young professionals to discover their passion. Is that you? Maybe you need to check out Ashleigh too. I don't know. Let's see what she's going to be talking about today. But not only is she passionate about that, this woman is educated too. She has her bachelor's in mass communication and a master's in business administration. This girl is doing it, right? right. Y'all know I get excited. So she's coming to this platform today and she is going to share with you. She has a master's in healthcare administration. I mean, I'm telling you, she don't stop. She don't stop. She can't stop. She won't stop. Okay. She is high energy and she enjoys connecting with people and activating their purpose. All right. She is the creator and the host of My Big Sister Said. Girl, what did my big sister said? I need to hear that. And guess where you can find this? On Apple and Spotify podcast. She got her podcast going on, guys. She mentors women and young professionals and a variety of community organizations. And she has a servant heart. You know how I know? Because she serves on several boards. So, without further ado, let's welcome with hearts and smiles our very first speaker, Miss Ashleigh Hargrave.
Hello, and welcome. I am so excited to be here tonight. So let's get started. So tonight I'm going to be talking about, can you share your stars? As Lynn said, I am a branding, lifestyle coach, life empowerment coach. And so by the time we finish tonight, I hope you'll have some stars to share with me. And I hope that I can give you some stars to take with you. So if I were to ask you, what's the best restaurant in your neighborhood? Maybe you would tell me it's that little cute spot on the corner. Maybe you would tell me it's the spot uptown where you have to get on the waiting list for 2 months. Maybe you would tell me that it's your mama's kitchen and only mom can make it the way that she does. But if I were to ask you, tell me about the ratings. Tell me about what people say about that favorite place. Tell me what people remember when they leave your mother's kitchen. Tell me what people remember when they leave that dining room. Some of you may say it was the aroma as soon as you walked in. Some of you may say it was the waitress that knows all of your kids' names, the fact that you really can't stand celery. Maybe it's the fact that when you walk out of the restaurant, you see a beautiful skyline in your city. But there's one thing in common about all those places. They all leave you with a distinct memory, a distinct feeling, and there was an atmosphere that was created when you walked into that place. And so I want to tell you, whether you're an author, entrepreneur, a mother, a father, a teacher, or a student, you create that same brand and that same experience for everyone that comes in contact with you. So let's say you're traveling and you're looking for a place to stay. You may call a friend that lives in that city and you may say, what's the best place to stay if I want to be near the arena? Or what's the best place to stay so that I can go to this concert? But granted, there's always something that you're looking for. I call these the 3 Ps. So if we were party planning, we would say we had a product, we had to be proficient, and we want to make a profit. So as we think about that in terms of your personal brand, what's your product? Are you a seamstress? Are you a mechanic? Are you a physician? What is that product? What's that thing that you're doing, that you're giving? Is that good or that service that you're providing for people? What's your proficiency? Have you gone to school? Have you gone to the school of hard knocks? Do you have a master's, a bachelor's, an associate's? Or have you just lived this whole story and now you're ready to give it back to someone else? And then the most important key, and one of the biggest keys, is the profit. How do you take your proficiency, your product, meld them together to create a profit? So some of you may be saying, well, if I'm trying to be me and my personal brand, how does that contribute to my profit? I'm an author, so people just want to buy my book. Yes, they want to buy your book, but they're also buying an experience with you. So when I open your book, when you give me my new dress that you have altered for me, when I'm allowing you to be my life coach, what is the experience that you provide for people? And maybe you've never even thought about it in that way. And so I would challenge you today, go out, ask somebody, ask them, how many stars would you give me? Now, granted, they may look at you a little funny when you first say it, but explain to them, I want to know what my product represents to you. I want to know what my brand says. When I walk into the room, or I'm on Zoom, what does my brand, what do I say to you? Before you ever decide to whip out your credit card, write me a check, send me Cash App, what is my brand saying? And once you determine what your brand is saying, determine how many stars do you want to have? Do you want to be a 5-star restaurant? Some places are okay being that cozy little spot on the corner that offers the best meatloaf. And some people want to get those Michelin stars and have that 1-year waiting list. But no matter what your product, your good, or the service that you're offering, you have to decide, what are the stars and how much are my stars worth? Now, for all of us, our stars are worth different. Maybe it's experience. Maybe it's the memories. Maybe it's the price and the exclusivity. But as a lifestyle, branding, and empowerment coach, I always tell my clients, advertising will get you in a lot of places, but your brand and your brand promise is what's going to keep you there. So collect your stars. And while you're out there collecting them, make sure that you're giving back to somebody else. So it's not enough to just collect, but we also have to give. Don't be afraid to share your stars. Thank you.
Wow, and right on time. Woo! Y'all, let's share. We don't have stars to share, but we got some hearts to share. Let's share them hearts. That was amazing. That was really great. And so this is where we can, and thank you, Brandy, for helping us and keeping us on time. I love that. Keep us involved and on time. And so this is where you all can get involved. We're going to bring back Ed and Emerald to the screen. We all got to hear that fast. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
That was phenomenal, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a few questions for Ed and Emerald to answer, but I'm going to put the questions in the group too, and we're going to ask anybody that's watching, you can answer these questions as well, okay? And so that way they can definitely know what you got out of their talk and the feedback that you receive by listening. And any other things, if it's not listed, feel free to provide definitely some insight that you have. And I'm just posting it right here in the group here so that you guys can see the questions. So the first one, Ed and Emerald, based upon listening to Ashleigh's talk, what do you think the overall message was? We'll start with Ed.
For me, for the overall message, what I really took from it had to do with you are a brand all the time. Wherever you are, wherever you go, every time you interact with a client, when you walk down the street, you're a brand. When you walk in the room, you are a brand. So how are you representing yourself? Because ultimately, you don't know who's going to be in that room, who's going to see you, who's going to need you, who you're going to connect with. So your brand is always on. So I really took from be mindful and be careful wherever you are that you're always branding yourself.
Ooh, that's really good.
Emerald?
Yes. Anything to add to that?
It was so good. I got all of that. And I also got from Ashleigh's talk that just know who you want to be and who you are, and to maintain that, just be confident in who you are and who you want to be. You don't have to conform to be a 5-star if you don't want to be a 5-star. You can, just know what your aim is and know what your purpose and intent is. And then always kind of monitor and evaluate how you're carrying that out, or if that is what other people see and experience, so you can constantly improve. Was kind of what I got from it.
Yeah, I love the correlation when you use the restaurant in the 5-star. That really just it honed in home for me. Like, yeah, how is my rating? And then it helps you to gauge where you can improve too. And then to even open up with the question, if you were to rate me, what star level would you give me? That was really, that was a great line. Hey.
Thank you.
Yes. So you guys, how did her talk make you feel? What emotions did you feel by listening to her talk?
Personally, I was more introspective. With my emotions, I was very okay. Are you mindful of your talk? Or do you know who you want to be? Are you that person all the time? I think consistency is so key in any area of business. So I was very introspective, really thinking about me and how I am branding myself at all times.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Yeah, for me, I was hungry. I don't know if that was the option. That's not rare, but I was definitely hungry and really visualizing all of the restaurants that I would love to go to as soon as this call is over. But it also just persuaded me, inspired me to want to change, and to it was inspirational for me, and more inspirational, I just think. Just like be confident in who you are.
Cool. Yeah, I think the emotions that started coming up for me was very introspective, as well as like, okay, it just made me think more like, do I really value, or how to place value on even what I do, and how I serve, and being very mindful of that. And so it was it was very good feelings, like, let me think, what can I do better? And so the last question is, what do you guys think the overall goal of listening to this? What would you say her ask is, or her goal is, of sharing this message?
I had about 3 of them, but I guess if I had to take the 3 out of there, I would be more closer to the inform. But I saw inspiration in there, and I saw persuasion also. But I think more informative is, if that had to be the one dominant one, I would say inform.
Okay.
I very much agree with Ed. It was definitely informational, especially for people who may not know what a brand is or know their brand. But I definitely got some inspiration and persuasion out of it too.
Yeah, I think I got all of it too. I was really persuaded. I was persuaded to change my mindset, persuaded to change how I even show up, and really think about that. And someone in the comments said they felt open-minded. Their delivery made you very comfortable. They felt very relatable to you. And so somebody else said that they were motivated. Somebody else said be a great brand. This is really good, you guys.
Thank you.
So we're going to thank you, Ed. Thank you, Emerald. We're going to bring you back in a moment. And so I just want to wrap this up with you and ask you a few questions, just so people can get to know you. I know I did your bio.
Yes.
But you are amazing, and people see that. So I just want to ask you, what motivated you to share this particular talk?
Yeah, I think for me, one thing is I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of friends, family, and clients, and we're all talking about what used to be and waiting for this new normal. And so for me, I'm really in a place of, where are we now? So let's say you were on the go back then, but can you still do that and pivot in a way that still allows your brand and who you are to show? And so I really did want to motivate and also inform people that now is still the time. This is even a better time now to really do what you do in a different way.
All right. And then any lasting words for the audience? And then finally, how can people reach you?
Yeah, so my lasting words would just be, continue to shine. This time right now is not a time for us to go under and to curve. Yes, we're going to cry. We're going to be mad. You may fuss, you may cuss, but get back up and let your stars shine and figure out a way to pivot. I would love, 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 love to work with you. You can find me at Ashleigh Speaks, ASHLEIGH Speaks, SPEAKS.co. I would love to drop a line, say hey, and I'm also on Instagram and Facebook under those as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashleigh. And we'll bring Ashleigh back to share some feedback for our other 2 contestants. And so next, let's get right to it, because he's ready. Yes, he is. And his name is Ed, formerly Edward Cook Jr., and he's about to bring the noise. You already know it. He is a teacher. He is an author. And guess what? He's a coach as well. He builds people. That is what he does. He could do it in his sleep. In fact, he's probably doing it on the side right now. Edward's lifelong goal is to create a world where every single person may live their life to the fullest every single day. Wake up and live to your fullest. Go to sleep thinking about living to your fullest. That is what Mr. Edward Cook does. And how he does this, and this is so true because I personally know this about him, he teaches at a level where everybody can understand. I don't care if you're just walking in the door or you've been in school forever, he can bring it to you where you are open to receive it. And he brings practical application to the way that he teaches. And he wants you to be called to what you're called to be. He has currently published not one, but 2 books. He has a podcast and a stage play called Are You Ready? Are y'all ready? Well, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and bring. Oh, and let me say this. That's been running for what? 10 years. 10 years. I had to shout that out. But are y'all ready for Mr. Cook? Let's give it up for Mr. Cook and show him some hearts, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. You see, after tonight, what I really want you to get out of this talk tonight is I want you to live your life with no regrets. Yes, I said regrets. So what am I saying? You see, right there, spelled just like that, no regrets. See, what I want you to understand is too many people are living life beneath where they should be. Too many people are not living to their full capacity. Let me ask you a quick question. What's the most valuable real estate in your city? And would you like to own land there? And when I ask that question, some people may think, oh, it's where the biggest building is where the highest neighborhood, where the neighbors with the highest prices are. What is the most valuable real estate in your city? Or we even think about the country. What's the most valuable real estate? Some may say the Hamptons or New York or San Francisco or LA or somewhere like that. But I want you to know the most valuable real estate in your city is a place we never even thought about. And it's here. It's at the cemetery. The cemetery is the most valuable place in each one of your cities. Why? See, I believe every person has a purpose and they have a mission, but too many people die full. Too many people die full. They die full of the dreams that were never fulfilled. They die full of visions that they saw in their mind, but they never saw. See, in the cemetery, when you walk through the cemetery and you look through that graveyard, you're going to see businesses that were never started, books that were never written, service industry ideas that were never done, ideas that could have changed the world that were never acted on. You see, why is that? Because people either never started they never started, or on the other hand, they never finished, or they started and they never finished. So why is it that people start something and never finish, or they never start at all? And I think the biggest thing that we can all relate to is this nasty little word called fear. You see, fear has 2 meanings. Fear means either forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. You see, when I forget everything and run, I forget how powerful I am. I forget that I have already survived the worst day of my entire life. I forget that I've already survived the worst decision that I've ever made. I've already overcome that. I fear, and when I'm fearing failure. I'm fearing what other people have to say. I'm fearing change. I'm fearing not having provision. And most importantly, sometimes we simply fear that I'm not good enough. You see, when we're fearing people and we're fearing what people are saying, you got to understand something. You're called to change something. You're called to serve and you're called to change. But if everybody thought exactly how you thought, then there'd be nobody to change. So we can't fear people and we can't fear change, because you were put on this earth for a purpose to serve and a purpose to change. And see, what I want to encourage everyone to do tonight is, instead of forgetting who you are and forgetting the power you have in you, I want you to face everything and rise. I want you to, instead of running like this guy, I want you to be like the lion. Face everything. Remember how bold you are. Remember how strong you are. Remember the worst day of your life, and you're sitting here right now on the internet, on Facebook. There are people who don't have internet. They don't have Facebook. They don't have a roof over their head. And yet you're sitting here with the opportunity to watch this tonight. You are strong. You are powerful, and you can do it. I challenge you tonight. Face everything and rise. Face those fears. Face that thing that's telling you not good enough. Do it afraid. You see, everybody you admire, everybody you look up to, everybody was afraid. And guess what? They did it afraid and they overcame. So my challenge to you tonight is not only to do it afraid, but finish what's been started in you. You have something that's in you that we all need. And I want you to finish what's been started in you. I need you to die empty. Don't take anything to the grave with you. Don't add to the real estate. And I want you to live life with no regrets. Thank you.
Yes. Woo! Live life, no regrets. I hear you. I hear you. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
Woo. If everybody could get that message, wow. So what we're going to do is bring back on author Emerald and Ashleigh.
Yay! Good job, Ed.
Thank you.
And again, I invite everybody to get involved with these questions here. So the questions that we're going to ask, and we invite you again to share as well. Ed just talked about living with no regrets. Woo! That was powerful. So somebody already said thank you for the inspiration. Come on through. Yes. So after listening to Ed talk, Ashleigh and Emerald, what do you think the goal of his message was? The overall message?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I think it's definitely was all wrapped up in the title, to live your life to the fullest, to empty yourself while you're here, and to not have regrets or be upset because just basically regret not doing that. So living your life to the full and emptying yourself fully out while you have time here.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would say that we are stronger than we know, and that we are strong. Do it afraid.
Yeah. I would agree too. And another thing that I really got out of it is don't allow the fear, because really what it is the fear is what stops us. And really addressing that as the root of what, I mean, of course, I'm thinking deep and all that, but that's really what I got from it. Like, ooh, what has fear stopped me from doing?
Yeah.
It really has started. And then fear equals the feeling of regret. Because now I regret that I didn't finish what I started, or start what I can't never finish it because I never even started it. So there we go. And so what emotions came up for you as you were listening to Ed talk tonight?
Yeah, I think for me, introspective, being very introspective, but then also just like a strength, like a little sit up a little taller. I felt a little push after that.
Yeah, for me, I think I definitely was just taking some inventory to think about the things that we don't release, or that we holding back from releasing. So I felt some inspiration and encouragement to just keep pushing and keep doing great things.
Yeah, I think the pictures that you had were very appropriate. It made the lion want to come out. And somebody said they really like when you put die empty.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got goosebumps again. Come on. Yes. I don't want to take nothing to the grave with me. Let me pour it all out. It's in us for a reason, to be shared with others. Okay. And then when we hold on and we leave stuff in there, don't you know that there's more that God wants to, I'm about to preach. Hold on. But there's more that we can do, more that there is for us. And if we let it out, then that makes room for us to get more. So I want to say that I felt most inspired by listening to your message. What would you guys say after listening to that? What was the overall feeling?
Definitely inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely inspired. And I would also say persuaded for change. I wrote on my phone, face everything and rise. So don't take fear as something to be afraid of, but face it. Do it afraid. I mean, that was powerful. Face everything and rise.
Yes, good. Thank you guys. And so we're gonna Ed, I just have thank you, Brandy. She said preach. Sometimes you have a little preacher hat, and plus Ed is also a preacher too. So let me just ask you, I just have a few questions.
Sure.
So why now? Why your message now? And why is your message important?
I believe that every person has a place and every person is important. And too many times we're letting fear, we're letting outside factors, and we're letting internal factors and internal limitations that we place on ourselves hold us back. You see, we're all part of one big body. We are all part, and I think I did this at the talk of the Christian Connections. We're all linked together. And so when I do what I'm supposed to do, it gives you opportunity to do what you're supposed to do. And it gives the next person opportunity to do what they're supposed to do because we're all linked together. But if I decide not to do my part, it's like a relay race. If the person in the first leg never hands it to the person in the second leg, they never get to even start. If they drop the baton on the handoff, they never even get to go. And so when we look at ourselves as just handing off the baton to the next person by doing our part, I think it's just so important. And too many people are dying with regrets. Too many people are dying with the woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I would have just overcome this, or if I would have just did that, life could have been so much better. And I just believe every day can be fulfilling. Every day you can walk in your purpose, and too often, and I'll stop, we're chasing provision. We've gotten to this place where we go to jobs we don't like because we're chasing provision. Mm-hmm. And if we just chase our purpose, provision will follow. But we don't follow our purpose because we say we don't have provision. So we chase provision and we're miserable all our life. But if you chase purpose, if you chase purpose, provision will come.
You better stop this. You are stepping on too many toes right now. Look at all these goosebumps. Oh my God. Stop chasing provision, start chasing purpose. And when you chase purpose, provision will come. That's going to be your lasting words. I'm sorry. So I have to read this message, and then I want you to share how people can contact you. Sure. Somebody said his message made me want to go back in there and finish my projects so I don't have to live with regrets. He reminded me that I'm a Leo lion and I need to rise. Woo! Come on. Thank you, Ed Cook. So how can people reach you?
So you can reach me on Instagram at Edward Cook Jr. You can find me the same on Facebook. My website for the book I wrote, Finish What You Started, is finishwhatyoustartedbook.com. Or you can reach me at my other website for the play at www.areyoureadyplay.com. That's all written out, AREYOUREADYPLAY.com. So finishwhatyoustartedbook.com or areyoureadyplay.com.
Thank you so much. Woo, y'all, this is good. Now, we're about to finish what we started with our last speaker. Y'all ready for this? Boom, boom, boom. Y'all remember that song? Okay. I'm ready for this, y'all. I'm so excited to have Miss Emerald Mills, who's going to come, and she going to bring that noise, y'all. I'm telling y'all, when I heard the title, I said, well, first of all, I just love her. Okay, let me just say that. And second of all, she just wrote a book that literally changed my life. Okay, like I wrote a whole poem about it. Like it changed my life. My mom, like, I need the book. I need the book. Okay, come on. Let me tell you about Miss Emerald Mills. Not only is she an author, but let me tell you, this lady is a game changer. Okay, she steps out on faith. She just does what she does, and she does it seamlessly. I almost be like perfection. Come on here now. Let me read what she wrote. I'm just, talking because, she is the bomb. She is a business strategist. She is the founder. Come on, visionary of diverse dining. Now, if you have not checked this out, make sure y'all go to diverse dining. Let's get some diversity. She's been doing this before all this stuff was going on. She already, see, God will give you, look, I keep forgetting the platform I'm on, y'all, and I get to going. I'm sorry. Let me bring it on back. Yes, diverse dining, where she does events, education, organization, and she cultivates courage and compassion, and she connects people and have people having conversations with people that they may never have even had an opportunity to sit down. That's why I said this woman is a game changer, and she about to change our life right now with this message. Yes, she is. And let's see, she organizes it with such a unique approach to connect people with from all life's walk. She has been featured on a variety of news outlets, such as and including on Milwaukee, Spectrum One, Fox 6, the Milwaukee Journal Signal, Visit Milwaukee, and guess what? Podcast. And now she's featured here. Where? On Speaker Circle. And y'all, she about to bring the noise and share the message. So help me welcome Miss Emerald Mills.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Lanice. Boy, I tell you, when Lanice gives your introduction, you got to come through. So I'm very excited to be here. My name is Emerald Mills. I'm the author of the book Rejection Uprooted, which you see at the top of the screen. My talk tonight is called Finding Freedom by Exposing Rejection. So my first question for everybody is, how do you define freedom? I think that is a very important question for us to ask, because freedom can be defined so differently by so many different people. One way that many people define freedom is just physical freedom. And it's not surprising, because here in Wisconsin, we have the highest incarceration rate in the United States. So some people might just be wanting to not be locked up, and that may be their whole goal in life, which in some cases can be understandable. I always say, I don't think I'm gonna go to jail, but if I ever do, Walmart might have something to do with it. That's just a sidebar. The second reason is financial freedom. Some people just want to get out of that job. They are waiting. They got sticky notes on their walls and on their windows with affirmations and declarations saying, I cannot wait to leave the 9-to-5 and start my own business. That was my personal testimony, but I don't have to put them sticky notes up anymore. Another reason is patriotic freedom. Now, I ain't gonna call nobody names, but we know we got the people who just refuse to wear masks, or who want to protest the idea of wearing a mask. Or if you, like me, you had a mask on before they even officially declared a pandemic in the United States. But the actual definition of freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one who without hindrance or restraint. So what I want you to do is take just a quick second and reimagine freedom. I want you to think about freedom not as a physical state, not as leaving your job, not as being American and exercising whatever rights you think we have, but thinking of freedom of being free of the opinions and the thoughts of other people. Sounds kind of basic, and something that we don't talk about a lot, which is rejection, and how much it really stifles our freedom and our ability to live and to move and to do the things that God called you to do, or that you just know in your heart are right. I want you to think about really being free of what other people think and what other people have said about you or said to you or told you that you couldn't do. Some of the ways that you can become free of rejection and to really live a true life of freedom is being aware that rejection is a thing, and that it's quite possible that you may be living underneath the wings of rejection. What that means is the freedom that you defined. Is it a freedom that you define yourself, or is it a freedom based on what somebody else said freedom looks like? Are you counting on being free because you want to prove yourself to somebody else, or you want to prove that you can attain a certain level of success? Or are you really being true to yourself? So it all starts with awareness. The second step, which I have others that I won't share today, is acceptance. So once you are aware of who you are and aware of what freedom really looks like for you, it's about accepting that that's what you like. It's important to understand that you may want to be free to just vacation once a year, or you may want to be free to write, or you may want to be free to have a very just have a very basic sense of living or a simplistic lifestyle. Maybe for you, that's freedom. And for somebody else, it's not attaining some level of success. It's very important that you accept what freedom looks like for you and what's important to you in order to live in true freedom. I'm putting up this quick quote from Brené Brown. And again, there's so many other points that I can share about how to overcome that rejection. But I think that so many times rejection defines us. We are driven by rejection. We are led by rejection. And so the only way to truly experience freedom is to know that you are living a life that you define. This quote by Brené Brown says, when we define the story, when we deny our story, it defines us. But when we own the story, we can write a brave new ending. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Hey. Now I cannot reject that message because it was on point. So what we're gonna do, I enjoyed all of you guys. Y'all were like really great. So yeah, let's give it up for Emerald. Again, we invite everyone to also share your thoughts about what you felt about the message today. I'm going to put that in the comments again. So, Mr. Ed, Mr. Ashleigh, what did you guys think the overall message after listening to her talk? What did you get out of that? Either one of you can start.
Yeah, for me, I was just thinking about when you were just talking about freedom, and you just made me think about what are the different ways to really think about freedom. So financially, politically, everything that's going on, it really made me just think about it and that we define freedom for ourselves.
Yes.
I think for me, what really stood out was rejection and defining myself and making decisions or being afraid to move because of rejection. And so that really stood out for me as far as like really owning it and owning my story. I love the quote with Brené Brown is really owning my story, because if I'm afraid of rejection, I'll never get to freedom.
Ooh, that's good.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going on because I know the book too, so I'm trying to just go off the top. But really, I really got out of it is redefining what freedom looks like and how rejection has really hindered my freedom.
Mm.
How can I reframe that? And really, again, how you really talked about, am I depending on, and I make it personal, I'm sorry, am I depending on the thoughts of others, or have I really taken a time out to think about what does that look like to me? Somebody in there said, it made me think about what I have done or not done and what was rooted by rejection.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because this is serious, you guys. So, what emotions, as you were listening to Emerald share, what emotions came up for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it made me think about regret. Like, what things have I allowed to put me in almost in a dungeon or a prison of regret that I have not allowed myself to be free from? So it really made me just kind of take some steps back. I was kind of in my mind, of things.
Yeah, for me also, I guess this was another introspection for me, because it was one of those, it's almost that thing where it says freedom gives you torment. I mean, not freedom, fear gives you torment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you think about the times that you were more afraid of the rejection than you were of the actual what's on the other side of it. And it was one of those 90% of the things we fear never happened, and the other 10% we couldn't control anyway. And so now I'm living my life based on the 10% I couldn't control instead of just going through. And so I was really introspective about, those moments and times where I let rejection keep me from freedom.
That's good. Wow, it really made me kind of feel it just made me feel aware of this is something that I need to be aware of and really take time out, not to be told how to feel, not to be like persuaded based upon just what life has brought on to me, but really to be aware of what does that mean to me. And so it was just like an awareness. And so with saying that, I feel like your message was basically I got it to inform people and also persuade to change. Did you guys, what would you say the overall?
Yeah, no, I think it was to inform, to look at rejection differently, look at it as the teacher and not to be in a place of bondage
Ooh,
anymore. Yeah, don't let that keep you in bondage. Be free.
that's good. Look at it as the teacher.
And I'm in the middle between inform and inspire, because not
Mm.
only was it informative about really letting you know where you are, but it's inspiring. It was inspiring to let you know where you can go.
Cool. Someone in Facebook, and I just realized, I just learned today how to put that up there. Okay. So someone said, I love the quote at the end. You taught me I need to be brave in my own story, then be free to write the end of my story. Woo! That was good. So we're going to close this out with a few questions for Emerald. Thank you again. So, Emerald, where does your passion come from? Where does the passion come from to even share about what you talked about today?
It's funny that you asked that, Lanice, because to be completely transparent, it's still challenging to talk about rejection. So my passion comes really from a personal place. I overcame and walked through a lot of rejection in my own personal life, which I didn't really share in my presentation because of the reason I said. But I've overcome a lot of different things, and I lived on the other side of rejection for years. Just being so afraid to start things, or so afraid to finish things, or so afraid to even share my ideas because I feared what other people would think or what other people would say, or, fearing those things. And Brene Brown talks about this a lot, but fearing the different chatter from people that are sitting in the audience and not in the arena. That was so it was just so heavy on me. But so that's where it comes from, a very personal place.
Mm. Wow, I'm just gonna, because a Facebook user says stalling on my project seems to steal my freedom. I need to look inside and see if I'm afraid of rejection. Thank you. You guys, all of y'all did just amazing. But let me finish this off. Any lasting words for the audience, and how can people reach you?
Well, somebody said it in the comments, but they said that they wanted to write their own story and finish it. And I would just encourage people to own the rights to your story. Somebody gonna tell it. Somebody gonna have something to say. Somebody is going to judge you. Warrant a warranted judgment or a non-warranted one. Own the rights to your story. Let somebody pay you $15.99 or $20.99 or whatever you choose to charge because they want to tell your story because you wrote it. I just encourage people to do that because your story is powerful. It needs to be heard, and nobody can tell it like you tell it.
Good. And so we're going to bring everybody on just to share one last one word for tonight that you feel overall, just based upon this experience, and then I'll say goodbye to everybody. So we can go Emerald, Ed, and then end with you, Ashleigh.
And I forgot to say, you can find me on the number 4 diversedining.com, or you can email me at emerald@4diversedining.com. One last thought, my overall thought about this experience was I really enjoyed sharing the stage with these other speakers. They were phenomenal. And it was very nerve-wracking for me to do my first talk on rejection, but I was really honored to be here, and I'm really grateful for all the feedback that people gave.
Thank you.
I would say My final thought is brand yourself, know who you are, know how many stars you have, understand where rejection and fear have been placed in your life and have limited you, and then turn around and walk as a bold as a lion and finish what's been started in you. Greatness costs what it costs, and we need you.
You better tie in everybody's title in it.
Yes, and I would just say that just sharing the stage with Ed and author Emerald has pushed me that it's time to birth this book. And so as we get to the benediction of this, I would say that don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to shine.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. We are so grateful. Thank you for spending a Tuesday evening with us on the Speaker Circle. We are so glad that you joined us for our first round of the TEDx Challenge. And we're going to finish this off next week, Tuesday, with our final round. We have 3 more amazing speakers, and then everybody will get a chance to vote on the topic that touched their heart the most, and that person will definitely get the trophy. They all have won, though, and we all definitely won by hearing their them sharing their ideas with us today. So thank you again, and until next week, be great.